Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness, I am so glad to be here with you. Mastering yourself to master your business is what we're all about and what we're here for, right? So, mastering yourself, like what the heck is that anyway, right? You could be thinking that. You could be like, why do I even need to master myself? What are you talking about? That is exactly what we're here to talk about today. So, knowing the science and knowing the stuff that science hasn't quite figured out yet and applying it all to building our businesses. It's great to see you here. Thank you so much for saying hello. Please do. Hi, Kathy. It's great to see you. But if your current reality leaves you wanting more time, more money, more freedom, more impact, then you should listen up because we're going to be hanging out with the dynamic duo that help you get more time, more money, more freedom, more impact, right? So stick with me. We're going to learn a ton today. And I have something really cool to talk to you about at the end. So you got to stick with me or none of it's going to really make any sense. Okay. So you don't want a holy education like Batman's holy bunions, right? So let me just check the tech, make sure you can hear me. Sounds like you can because I got a hello there. I definitely want you to please put in the chat where you're from, what your business is. I'm always encouraging you guys to go ahead and put a link to your business. Let us know what it is so that we really get to know each other because this is the space where our personal lives and our business lives kind of overlap in this relatively magical way, right? It's this space where we get to know that knowing ourselves can actually propel our business forward. So definitely tell us about that. I love it when we play games, and I'm in a game kind of mood. So let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, this is okay. So here's one. Oh, and here's the other one. And I want you to choose. Here's A. A says, start where you are with what you have. Do you resonate with that today? If you resonate with that, put in the chat A, okay? And B says, you matter. So cool, right? Put in B if you resonate with that. That's a really interesting thing that came up when we're talking about today, really how to put you at the center of your business, right? In this different way than you may be used to. So let me know, A or B. In the meantime, we are here to talk about our science and spirituality, the dynamic duo for business growth. And you can probably already guess my answer, but thank you. That's awesome. That's a great one. So you probably already know that you are the central element, right? That you get that what happens inside you determines your behavior, your reactions, how good your ideas are, how quickly you act on those ideas, all of that. You may already know those things, but you don't have like a billion hours in the day. So you have to ask yourself this question, and people ask themselves this question all the time. What is the most important thing for getting my mind ready to build my business, the business that I really want, whether we're building it from scratch, as I know some of you are, or we're building it from stable and steady to exponential growth. And that is a whole other ball of wax. But what's cool about it is because business-wise, you could not exist in the same space. Someone who's starting and someone who has been well established, you can't really talk about the same things and get the same results. But here, because we're working on this, right? And this doesn't change. Our bodies, the biology of our bodies and our minds and our spirits, it doesn't change depending on where you are in your life or in your business, right? In the life of cycle of your business. So there are tons of people out there offering you strategies, right? Courses, they're super practical, they're logical solutions. And maybe you've tried a few, and ended up feeling like they are just terrible solutions, right? Or instead of trying them, you just got a pit in your stomach at the mention of the solutions and you became paralyzed. Okay, so some of the things, when things are really super practical and they're not quite a good fit for us, and we know it inside, but we don't know it outside, those are the kinds of things that happens. So it's what happens when we try to stick to sort of rigidly logical, sciency, there's no room for you, for your creative genius that lives inside of you, right? Because there are so many books about how business is business and it doesn't matter who you are. We're not going to talk about them today, because when you shift this perspective, you're going to get a totally different set of results. So sometimes the opposite is true, right? I've met lots and lots of people who say, I'm going to take a spiritual approach to this problem. I have this problem in my business. I'm going to go meditate, and then I'll know the answer, because I've heard that that's good for you. And I want to free up my logical mind. And then everything's just going to fall into place and I'm going to know what to do. And maybe you actually do it for a little while, and then life happens, right? You forget protecting that time slot is really important in your day, or you get to a point where you feel like, everything's kind of fine. I don't need to do that thing. Or even though you feel better, you don't really know what you're doing it for anymore, right? What is it supposed to do for my business again? I can't remember. What is this helping my cash flow? Because I have a schedule that I have to stick to, right? Those are the kinds of things that happen when you don't know the science behind it, right? When you haven't married science and spirituality and a way to get it into your business, it all falls by the wayside. So logic, science, it's not enough to actually change you by itself, right? It doesn't change your habits long term. It doesn't create that lasting change, but neither does random spirituality, right? I know lots and lots, and not even random, right? I know lots and lots of people who have solid spirituality in their lives and still cannot figure out how to apply it to business. So together, science and spirituality really are the dynamic duo here, right? Because they are what you need in order to get from where you are to where you're going in business. Okay? So when you understand how the science works, then you know how to work the mechanism, right? The brain and the body, it's our mechanism. And when you know how to tap into your spirituality, then you know how to drive the boat, right? So you're truly in charge of what's happening. One great combo, those guys, they pack a pow. I'm on my cartoons today because I got my dynamic duo going on. But it's still not enough to change your business. Even if you know the science and you've got the spirituality and you're kind of figuring out how to marry them together, although I have to say very, very few people have figured out how to marry them together. But even if you've got this kind of extremely nuanced thing going on between the two, to be able to apply it in business is another whole level of nuance. So it's crazy, right? In order to change your business, you have to know how it all applies to your business. Okay? It's like knowing that knowing how to drive a car, right? And knowing all the street sign names and kind of knowing the town names, but not actually having a map, right? To get you from where you are to where you want your business to go. If you think of the car as understanding the science of it, right? And the road names, just knowing the names of everything as knowing a little bit about spirituality, right? But you still need to navigate through the 12 states between where you are, confusion or treading water or moderate success, and the destination. Business success, growth, more money, more time, more customers, less work, better cash flow, effective marketing, operations management, managing staff or freelance help, making good contracts. These are all the places we think we need to go in order to make that business grow. And in large part, we're not wrong. We just have to know the roadmap to get there, right? So let's talk about an example. If you have something that you've been working on, or that you really you've been hoping for in your business, right? Put it in the comments. Even if we're on replay here, okay? So hashtag replay. I love to come back and talk to you guys about what's going on. So even if I can't respond in this format because you weren't here, but because you live around the world, that happens. But you want to participate in this because you can get me to respond to you in this group for free, which is not free everywhere. Okay. So, so if you've got something you're working on, put it in the chat, and hashtag replay. And if you feel like, that was more than a few days ago, they'll never come back to it, that's fine. Just tag me on it. It's fine. I don't mind at all. Okay. Because working on what's real for you is what makes it real for you. Right? That's when you can make the real changes, because the little itty bitty things that get in the way are sometimes they feel like they're really specialized to you. They're not, but they feel like they are. And they feel like, where's my answer? Where's my answer? Where's my answer? Well, here it is. Okay. Here it is. Put your problem in the chat and we will go through those nuances together. Okay. So while you guys are doing that, I want to talk about expectation, right? I want to talk about expectation. So because expectation is really interesting. It's how we get a lot of what we get. And sometimes we know that. We're like, oh, I'm spiritually advanced. I know that. But we don't know how to change it. So let's say you have a client who is a whale. Right? They spend lots of money with you. They're like a serious pain in the tuchus, right? They're really a pain in your hind end there. Okay. So you feel like you have to put up with them, that this is just the way they are. And so in order to do business with them, you have to put up with all that. Right? So you decide to apply a little bit of your spirituality that you've heard could be good, right? Maybe you pick meditation and you meditate and you feel a little better. But the next time you deal with the client, same thing happens over and over and over. And you try shifting it around a little. Oh, I'll meditate closer to when they come, or, oh, I'll try to meditate this different way. Or maybe I haven't tried this breathing meditation. Maybe I'll try a different meditation, right? But over and over and over again, you're getting the same results or slightly different results that are equally unsatisfying. Okay, let's take that same scenario and maybe instead of applying spirituality, you decided to feel like this is a real world problem and I am going to fix it with a real world solution. I am going to talk about boundaries with them. We are going to establish boundaries because this is not acceptable, right? So you call the client and you explain how difficult they are, you explain like how they should treat you and your business differently, how they should change their behavior, right? Maybe they're always showing up early or late, right? And it causes a lot of stress. So they're basically disrespecting you. And you say, you should treat me better. This is a real world solution. There are management books about this, right? About how to manage your clients, right? How many times have you had that conversation with the same person over and over and over, right? Because your repeated attempts to get them to treat you better and your business to get you to treat you respectfully, they're going to fail. So you figure out that there are only two choices. I have to put up with this, or I have to refuse to work with that person. And I have to lose, half my income because this is a really big client and they bring in a lot and this is a really hard place I'm in. And so whenever it seems like there are two choices, some of you guys know this from me already, right? Whenever you feel like there are two crappy choices, what is there? There's a third choice that isn't crappy. So you're missing something, okay? And this requires a nuanced combination of science, spirituality, and action, right? That combination can produce incredible results. So I'm going to tell you a little story about my time as CEO of a multi-million-dollar corporation. So there was a time period when I was not in favor, right? The board was very upset with me. Things were not going well in their perspective. And one of the board members took it upon themselves to come in to my place of work every day and go around to every single department head and every single employee that they could get their hands on and undo everything that was being done. So all of the direction that was coming from the top down was being sort of undone by this sideways entrance that was inappropriate, right? And so I did just what we just described. I did all of those things that we described. I meditated about it. I tried to feel better about it. I did all of those things. That didn't work. I commiserated with all of my department heads. I told them I was going to come up with a solution. I dedicated myself to the solution. I tried to satisfy the person. Oh my God, I did everything. It was something. I'll tell you what. And the torture went on. The torture just went on and on and on. Okay. And so what happens when you understand the science of the brain and you understand the science of the heart and how the two work together, and you understand the spiritual world to a deep extent? Here you are in your real world job over there, right? It's a real world problem I was dealing with. Affected a lot of people. It was a really big problem, right? But I still couldn't get the reins on that horse, no matter what I did. And the more I tried, the worse it got. So I decided that I was going to take all of my understanding, right? Because I was already a spiritual health coach at that point. I was already a biofeedback specialist at that point, right? So I already understood science. I already understood the spiritual aspect of it, but I wasn't putting it together. And when I said, I'm going to use my brain and my heart and my body in a way that is cohesive and is coherent with what I want to be the outcome, I knew all the tools. I developed those tools and I practiced them in order to make it happen. And no, I did not invent an extra 10 minutes or half hour or 2 hours in my day. There were no 2 hours extras. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? Somebody told you to do something for an extra 5 minutes in your day and you're like, are you kidding? No, right? I am packed. And that's where I was. So I didn't invent any extra time. I did it in a time slot where I could do it and do something else at the same time. And I will tell you, I was driving there, and I will tell you that the results were astounding, right? Inside about 5 to 7 days, everything changed for me, but nothing changed for the rest of my company. Nothing, right? So they were all still going through it, and I was sitting pretty. Life was good. And a couple of days later, they all got together and cornered me in a room and said, what did you do? What did you do? You're not a problem anymore, but we're still a problem. What is happening? And so I was able to take this technology that we're talking about, right? This way of understanding the science and the spirit together, right? So it's not airy, fairy, crazy stuff. This is real. This is biological, right? And to use that to make a giant change in the business, and to use that to make a giant change in the business of those people that I taught that to. So, all right, I'm going to check in with you guys again here, because this is, I want you to get it. So if you've got something you're working on, doesn't have to be as big as all that, you put it in there. Okay. And it looks like all is well. So let me just tell you, when you get this right, people treat you better. You make better decisions. Your business grows. It feels effortless, not actionless. Okay. Feels effortless, not actionless. When you don't quite get those two dynamic duos working together, right? That combination that is kind of magical, and you have to properly apply it to your business life, then you end up saying things like, oh yeah, I tried that, it didn't work. Have you ever said that? Go ahead and put it in the chat if you've ever said that, right? Oh yeah, I tried that and it didn't work, right? Oh, that spiritual stuff is fine for religious people, but doesn't work for people like me. I'm down to earth. I know how to run a business. It's not for me. It's for the airy fairy people. Or all that spirituality and new age science crap has no place in business, right? You ever gone there? I will tell you that most of the time, most of my clients have gone to all of those places before they have come to me, right? Because it has a place in business and it has a place in your life, and it works every single time predictably if you do it in the nuanced way. It's like building a clock. I mean, I've never built a clock, but I will tell you, I've seen movies where they build in clocks, right? And it looks incredibly detailed, because if you get one thing out of place, it doesn't keep time. Okay, so that's where we're at with this. If you get one thing out of place, it doesn't work. But when you get all the parts working together, it works predictably every single time. So it's time. It's time for you to take the gloves off when it comes to getting your business growing in the right direction. For you to understand the brain and the body and the you inside of you, right? And how the business world reacts when you have the actual driver's manual, right? When you know how to work this mechanism, when you know how to do it. So I'm going to be giving an in-depth training on this in a couple of weeks. And if you have an interest, even if it's on replay, if you have an interest in this and you want that special invite, just put me in the chat. On all the platforms, this works. So if you're on, no matter what platform you're on, you just go ahead and type me in the comments, and I will personally make sure that you get the invite to that very special event that, oh, super, I can see that coming in now. So that's really good. So definitely you want to do it. Okay, get in there. In the meantime, I will say, Join me on Monday at 11 Eastern. We finally learn to practice business affirmations that actually work to improve your business. It's a masterclass and workshops, really fun. So that is also available to you. And if you like, I actually think I can put this right in the chat. Let's see. So go ahead and get registered over there, because that is active right now, and it is also free. So go ahead at this moment. So go ahead and click on over there and get yourself signed up for that. And I will see you either on Monday, or I will see you at the special training when I give you that invite. So that is really, really going to be super powerful. And I think you're going to find that there is a real answer, an ongoing answer for you in that special event. So I really look forward to getting to do that with you. All right. I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.